The concept of personalized nutrition, tailoring dietary recommendations based on an individual's genetic makeup, is gaining momentum in both scientific circles and consumer markets. Fueled by advances in nutrigenomics, the study of how genes interact with nutrients, this approach promises a new era of precision in cancer prevention and health optimization. The appeal is clear. Instead of relying on generalized dietary advice, individuals could follow eating patterns uniquely suited to their biology, potentially offsetting inherited risks or targeting metabolic pathways that drive disease. But while the science is intriguing, the translation into effective, evidence-based practice remains far from complete, and in some cases, dangerously premature. At the heart of personalized nutrition lies the idea that our genetic code shapes how we absorb, utilize, and respond to nutrients. Variants in genes like MTHFR, APO, or CYP1A2 can influence everything from folate metabolism and cholesterol transport to caffeine sensitivity and oxidative stress. Theoretically, knowing one's genetic profile could help tailor micronutrient intake, fat distribution, or antioxidant needs in ways that reduce disease risk, including cancer. This is particularly relevant in cancers where diet and metabolism interact closely with risk, such as colorectal, breast, and prostate cancers. For example, individuals with certain polymorphisms in folate metabolism genes may be more susceptible to DNA damage when folate levels are too low or too high. In another case, those with variants in glutathione pathway genes may require higher levels of dietary antioxidants to combat oxidative stress, a known contributor to carcinogenesis. These gene-nutrient interactions are complex, and in some cases, they might offer an opportunity to intervene early, before clinical disease develops. But while the premise is scientifically valid, the practical application remains fraught with uncertainty. The first problem is that most genetic variants linked to nutrient metabolism only confer small changes in risk. The vast majority of chronic disease, including cancer, arises from multifactorial interactions, not just between genes and nutrients, but also between environment, lifestyle, microbiome, and socioeconomic context. A person's zip code often predicts their health outcomes more accurately than their genome does. In this context, knowing you have a slightly altered B vitamin requirement might make a marginal difference, but it doesn't replace broader, population-level strategies like improving food access, reducing processed food consumption, or increasing physical activity. Another issue is the commercial exploitation of this science before it's ready. Direct-to-consumer DNA testing companies now offer precision nutrition plans based on cheek swabs and algorithms. These often promise personalized diet insights, but in reality, the science underpinning their recommendations is inconsistent, and the clinical relevance is often exaggerated. Many of these services use a narrow selection of SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, ignoring the full genomic and environmental picture. Worse, they may provide conflicting or even harmful advice, leading consumers to restrict healthy foods unnecessarily or overconsume supplements without clear need or benefit. In cancer prevention specifically, the risks of acting on incomplete genetic data are even more serious. A woman told she has a variant affecting estrogen metabolism may decide to avoid soy entirely, despite evidence that moderate soy intake is protective. Someone with a slow-metabolizing caffeine gene might cut out coffee, missing out on its potential antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits. Others may feel falsely reassured by favorable genetic profiles and neglect core health behaviors like maintaining a healthy weight or avoiding alcohol. Without careful interpretation by qualified professionals, genetic nutrition advice can distort rather than clarify the path to prevention. Another concern is the ethical and psychological burden of genetic information. Unlike traditional diet advice, which can be easily modified, genetic risk cannot be changed. Some individuals may feel fatalistic after learning of inherited vulnerabilities, while others may misinterpret risk scores as definitive diagnoses. This psychological toll can be compounded by privacy concerns, especially as genetic data enters the realm of commercial profit and insurance regulation. Without strict data protections and clinical oversight, the personal becomes public and exploitable. That said, nutrigenomics is not without promise. In research settings, it is helping identify high-risk subgroups who may benefit from more aggressive dietary interventions, or whose tumors may be more responsive to metabolic therapies. For example, Ketogenic diets are being investigated in specific brain cancers with known metabolic vulnerabilities, and fasting mimicking diets are under study for their effects on chemotherapy tolerance. In the future, we may see more precise dietary protocols incorporated into cancer care based on tumor genetics and host metabolism. But these strategies will require rigorous trials, long-term safety data, and highly individualized oversight. For now, public health remains best served by recommendations grounded in population-wide evidence. Eat a diverse, minimally processed diet rich in plants, maintain a healthy weight, limit alcohol, avoid smoking, and stay physically active. These strategies reduce cancer risk across genetic backgrounds. While personal genetics can offer additional layers of insight, they do not replace the need for environmental change or broad access to healthy food. The danger is that personalized nutrition, if overhyped, could deepen inequality, becoming a luxury for the genetically informed elite while others continue to face structural barriers to health. In conclusion, the future of cancer prevention may include personalized nutrition, but we are not there yet. The science is evolving, the risks are real, and the benefits, while plausible, are not guaranteed. For now, the best personalized advice is also the simplest. Feed your body well, move often, get screened, and make choices rooted in evidence, not marketing. DNA may guide you, but it doesn't decide everything.